guys, welcome to another episode of In Conversations With. You are here with your host, myself, Kiki Paddy from the Black Professional Network, and today I am joined by Ololade Adesanya. Hi, Ololade.
Hi, Kiki. Hi. Thank you for inviting me today. Nice to connect.
Of course. So guys, you know we're bringing you this series of In Conversations With, and our theme has been Become the Change. We are bringing you remarkable professionals across the country in our network to help inspire you to be the change that you want to see in the world, starting with your community, in your own life, in your professional life. So, Ololade, let's start off with the first question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Great, sure. Thank you, Kiki. So yes, as you've already said, my name is Ololade Adesanya. I'm a director in EY's Financial Services practice. I also chair our UK Financial Services Race Steering Committee, which advises our senior leadership team on issues of race. I sit on a gender advisory board, which fulfills the same purpose for gender. I've been in EY for 2 years, and prior to that, I was the European Head of Audit for a global financial services organization. And before that, I worked for another Big Four accountancy firm where I started my career and graduated, after I graduated 12 years ago, of course, and qualified as a chartered accountant. On a personal level, I'm married with 2 young kids who keep me very busy when I'm not working. I am also the Vice President of the ICAEW, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, in England and Wales for the West of England, and I sit on a couple of non-for-profit boards locally here in Bristol in an advisory capacity, including, of course, the board of the Black Professionals Network, which I'm really, really excited about.
We are excited to have you. Ololade, I mean, that sounds like a lot of responsibilities for one person. I'm a person with children and a family to take care of. How on earth do you navigate all the challenges and barriers that can get in the way of, you achieving your own professional goals? What strategies do you use to navigate achieving your professional goals?
Good question. And I think, as you've already said, is a combination of various things that could create those barriers. We know that, in the world, there's a lot of privilege, there's white privilege, and not everybody's operating on a level playing field. And so being Black, being female, of course, is barriers, the physical barriers that actually people have attributed to having an impact on their ability to progress. So for me, in terms of my personal journey, I've been very fortunate, to be honest, but there are a number of things that I would recommend for anybody who's looking to go through that sort of similar journey from a similar type of background. So first of all, I think it's important to be resilient. If you're from an ethnic minority background, it's important not to give up, because the moment you give up, you're already out of the running. So it's never going to be easy. Nobody said it will be easy, but it gets better, or you find an approach that works for you after time. I think that's important. Secondly, because actually the reason why that's important is because oftentimes we're saying we don't have enough representation at senior levels. And that is partly because a lot of our guys are not resilient enough to want to stay in to progress. So they give up midway at middle management, and therefore we're not getting that pipeline into progression. So I think, my recommendation is it does get better, or you find something that works, but it's important not to give up, because again, you've got to think about yourself as an ambassador for other people coming through so that you can pull them up. Secondly, my advice is to be authentic and to be yourself as much as possible. I know it's very difficult, but if it's hard work, it's a lot of hard work not to be authentic. I would say that for sure. And that can have an impact on your performance. If you're juggling trying to be a different person that you're not, and you're still trying to deliver work, it's just too much stress. So, the reality is people might not like or accept you at first, but if you're consistent in your authenticity, they would grow to accept you for who you are. So I think that's important. Thirdly, get mentors and sponsors, whatever place. A mentor will guide you, and sponsorship will drive your course to promotion and progression. So it's important that you identify these individuals within and outside of your organization. I have been fortunate to have great mentors and sponsors throughout my career journey, and that I would always owe my progression to. And now I also spend time mentoring and sponsoring others coming up the ladder, and that's my way of giving back. So I think there's a place for sponsorship and mentoring in this sort of journey. And lastly, I would give you one more in the interest of time. I think networking is so important. It's really important to build your internal and your external network. Your network is your wealth. Great networks can open doors for you that you cannot imagine. And so I would suggest, people invest in building strong networks with like-minded individuals that you can lean in for support, as well as leaders, those that you're looking up to. So I would say that, the Black Professionals Network, for example, is a great way to achieve this if you're looking for a network of professionals to connect with.
Thank you for that shout out. That was just amazing. And you've actually answered basically the next question that I have for you, which is the strategies that, the advice you would give to professionals who want to climb up the ladder. But I do want to touch on something that you said, be yourself, authenticity. And that is something I personally have struggled with in my life, because people see me as this confident person and, trying to be authentic, trying not to morph into different places where you find yourself. Can you give us an insight into your own life, how you manage to, let your own authenticity shine, even in an environment where, in a world, not just environment, in a world where, people always try to make you be something that you're not. How did you let your own authenticity shine?
I think for me, and that's a very good question, actually, because it's so easy to say to people to be authentic. But we know that when you're from our background, if you want to be really authentic in the professional services world, you'll be very different, and you might come across as being really weird. So for me, I think the most important thing is that you sort of know your place in terms of what your goals, in terms of what you want to achieve. So I think you need to be very solid in terms of your contribution to the firm. And in your organization, you're solid in your contribution, you know your stuff. Everything just falls into place, because when you know your stuff, it just gives you a natural level of confidence. And then in terms of how you deliver that stuff, using your own style doesn't actually, nobody really cares about that, as long as you're bringing quality to the table. So if I give you as an example, like I remember going through my panel to get promoted to director, and I had a number of allies that were fantastic in training me in terms of, this is how you present your business case when you go through a panel. There'll be a lot of people on that panel, and none of them is likely to be from a BME background. So, they were saying, this is how you present, and this is how you talk, and these are the fantastic things you would say. And it was all very excellent, because they really helped me in terms of the quality of what to expect in that panel. They helped me to prepare. But I just realized, I said to myself, if I try to talk like the way they've asked me to talk, or say it in the way they've just delivered it, I am definitely going to fail, because it's not going to come naturally. And so my way of doing it is to take all of these things and put my own spin on it. So getting into the panel, I've taken all of this fantastic knowledge for these amazing people, put my own spin on it. I've got to deliver it as me, because that's when it will come naturally, and that's when I'll be most successful. Imagine me going into a panel and trying to think about the things I want to say, but also trying to worry about, saying it in a certain way that isn't natural to my style. It just would not come out nice. You wouldn't necessarily be able to connect with people. And so for me, it's like, taking all the advice, doing all these things, but always put your twist on it. It's got to be the Kiki twist for Kiki, right? It's got to be the Kiki twist all the time.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say, I don't want to be partial, but that is probably the best answer I've had on that question. So thank you for that gift of just be your own self. And I know, like you said, people always say that, and it's like, what does that even mean? Put your own spin on it. We're here to inspire you, but put your own amazing spin on it. I feel like the magic happens when you just let your light shine, no matter how weird it is. Look at me, I'm freaking weird. Just let it shine.
You're not weird, you're just amazing. That's the word. You're just amazing. It's nice to be different, Conforming is boring. You've got to be different.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. And so, Ololade, tell me, what is your draw to the Black Professional Network? Because you don't need to be a member of the Black Professional Network, but you're not just a member, you sit on our board. Tell me, what does the Black Professional Network mean to you?
So for me, I think it's a network to connect Black and ethnic minority professionals. it provides a role in creating a network of support. So I think, you know, we often say, and actually I've said this in 2 conversations already today, the more you progress, the more lonely it becomes in this professional world, right? Because, you know, you find a lot of Black people doing various things that are not necessarily professional. And when you get into this corporate world, it becomes very lonely because there aren't many Black people in that world. And so sometimes you need to look outside of your organization to get that network of support, because there'll be so many people in the same shoes who feel lonely in their firms, and who actually wish they had somebody they can share ideas with or just share their experiences with. And I think the Black Professional Network has a very important role to play in doing that, connecting professionals together, building that network of support. I think that's important. I would say more importantly though, it does play a role in empowering ethnic minority professionals. So in terms of helping people in middle management to progress into senior management, and that would be through things like, you know, the events that you host, inviting people that are inspirational to talk and to share their journey. You know, there's so much power in storytelling. You learn a lot, yeah? It could be the support that you offer through CV developments, through job boards, so posting jobs and all of that. You know, those are fantastic things that could equip people into and empower them into those leadership roles. What I would like to see more of, which I know it's one of the missions, we're not there yet, is more contribution towards driving change in terms of more diversity. And I think we'll get there, because the more of younger people, or the more people that from our backgrounds that we empower to progress, the more there would be that talent pool that can go into the corporate world and progress. But I want to see us do a lot more to change the dial a little bit. So in terms of, we're saying we want to see change, we want to see more representation at senior level. You know, I would want, you know, BPN to be at the heart of driving some of those and more.
Absolutely. That's what we're striving for. I mean, we're 1 year old right now, so that's what we're striving for.
Absolutely.
So,
and you should be pretty proud of what you've achieved. It's fantastic, you know, how far the BPN has come.
I mean, we're 1 year old, and I think we've done such amazing things. I mean, just finishing our mission and already driving on with it. Yeah. I think definitely, I'm certainly proud of what we're achieving in the BPN.
Great.
And so my next question for you, Ololade, is what is your favorite quote?
You know, my favorite quote changes from time to time. I never seem to be loyal to a quote forever, to be honest. But having said that, I would say at the moment, actually, my quote would be, just because of the pandemic and the fact that we all need to be caring now and looking after one another. Not that we don't have to do it usually, but the pandemic has brought out the human side of a lot of people. And so my quote at the moment is something I read a few days ago, which was, you know, be the reason someone feels welcomed, seen, heard, valued, loved, and supported. You know, this resonates with me because a lot of people need that support, that love in these times because of what we're going through in the world that we've never gone through before. But also, I think it sits well with my DNI initiative, my passion for diversity and inclusion and driving those initiatives forward. I believe that, you know, this is our purpose, but also is the purpose of allyship. So if you're an ally, basically what you're doing is making somebody feel visible, making them visible, absolutely. So that quote is certainly trending in my mind for now, but you never know, next week it might be another one.
Well, I love the quote you've chosen right now, and that definitely resonated deep in my heart. I just want to be the reason why somebody else smiles, you know? So that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that with us. And so now this leads us to a final question. So this is a fun question. Now just imagine that I am about to ship you off to a desert island by yourself, and you're only allowed to take 3 items with you. What 3 items would you take and why?
Oh, that is a very difficult one, to be honest, because I don't like being by myself, first of all. I can't imagine myself going to a desert island. But if I were to be shipped off now, what will I do? I would say certainly, mobile phone for connectivity will be very important. So I can connect to the world, because when you can connect, you can get help. The second thing would be food and water for sustenance, so that I don't die off in this island. And then the third thing, and I don't know how many things I can take, but let me just take the third one. I'll take my husband and my kids for company. So at least the whole family, let's just go and, you know, let's just go to the island together as a family and
Let's just take the mobile phone, the whole family, and food. I don't care about everybody else. Let's just go.
We'll survive.
Ololade, thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. It's been so much fun chatting with you.
Likewise, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for interviewing me. And yeah, looking forward to connecting more, Kiki. Thanks. It's been a great pleasure talking to you today.
Absolutely. So guys, it's been fun having Ololade here today, and I hope you were inspired by that conversation. We are bringing you these conversations, like I said, to inspire you to be the change that we want to see in the world. So that's me, Kiki, signing off today. Ololade, thank you one more time. Bye, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Bye.